Welcome everyone to BT Game Night. I will be your host for the night, Neo from the House of Pricey Cardboard. For tonight's episode, we have our first semi-final bracket match from the Patron tournament. Fighting for a place in the finals, our contestants are shuffled up and ready to rumble. Let's get a look at their opening hands. In the left corner, with an opening hand of a mountain, Grove of the Burned Willows, Sakura Tribuilder, Song of the Dryads, Urabrask the Hidden, Tamer Sabertooth, Torn Mammoth, and his Cruel Creature style Commander. He is the Big J Man. Please give a warm welcome to Joshua. Next, from the other corner of the ring, with an opening hand of 3 planes, Sungrass Prairie, Herald's Horn, Ajani's Pridemate, and a Gasali Pride Mage, and her 2 Celestia Alpha Cats. She is the prodigy. This is Emma. From the temporary authority that has been granted to me, you may begin this card fight.
For their first turns, Emma plays Sungrass Prairie, while Josh plays a Forest. Emma plays a Plains and casts Kasali Pride Mage, while Josh plays a Mountain and casts Sakura Tribuilder. Emma plays a Plains and casts Ajani's Pridemate. Then she moves into combat and uses her General's Eminence trigger to give her Pride Mage +3/+3 and attacks with it, which also gains +1/+1 further thanks to Exalted. But Josh blocks with his Sakura Tribuilder and sacks it before damage to grab a Forest from his deck into play tapped. Then Emma passes. Josh plays Grove of the Burned Willows and casts Tamer Sabertooth and passes. Emma plays a Plains and casts Herald's Horn, naming cats. Then she moves into combat and uses her General's Eminence trigger to boost the Pridemate by +3/+3 and attacks with it, which also gains Exalted. Josh declares no blocks this time and takes 6 damage before Emma passes. Josh starts his turn by playing Hanweir Battlements and casts Urabrask the Hidden. Then he moves into combat and attacks Emma with his Sabertooth. Emma declares no blocks and takes 4 damage. Then we realize that Josh tapped his Burned Willows for a red mana, thus Emma gains a life, and also her Pridemate gains a +1/+1 counter due to its trigger before Josh passes. During her upkeep, Emma didn't top deck a cat, so no Herald's Horn trigger for her this turn. Then she plays Wooded Bastion and casts Regal Caracal. This grants her 2 1/1 cat tokens with lifelink, which all come into play tapped thanks to Urabrask. Also, all her other cats gain +1/+1 and lifelink. Emma then moves into combat and uses her Eminence effect to boost her Pridemate by +3/+3 and attacks Josh with it, at which point it also gains +1/+1 from Exalted. Josh declares no blocks and takes 8 damage, while Emma gains 8 life, and her Pridemate gets another +1/+1 counter as she gained life. #meouch. Then Emma passes. Josh plays a Mountain and casts his General, Ruric Thar. Then Josh moves into combat and attacks Emma with everything. Having gained considerable life last turn, Emma decides to declare no blocks and takes the full 14 damage. #take that. Then Josh passes. Once again during her upkeep, Emma doesn't draw a cat here, so once again no Herald's Horn trigger for her. She then pays 3 mana to add her companion, Kira the Orphan Guard, to her hand. Then she casts it. It comes in tapped, but grants all of her cats +1/+1 and Vigilance. Then she moves into combat and uses her Eminence ability on her Pridemate and attacks with everything that can swing. Josh has Ruric Thar block the Qasali Pridemage and then takes a massive 19 damage, while Emma gains 19 life as all of her cats except the Caracal had lifelink. Then the Qasali Pridemage dies, and the Pridemate gains another +1/+1 counter as Emma passes. Josh starts his turn by casting Dockside Extortionist. With its ETB, he gains a treasure token, thanks to Emma's Herald's Horn. Then, in a desperate play, he casts Song of the Dryads and turns Emma's Regal Caracal into a forest or some sort of scratching post for the other cats to use. Sadly, this triggers Ruric Thar, causing Josh to take 6 damage from his own general, leaving him at death's door. Then he moves into combat, as he doesn't have a choice, and attacks with Ruric Thar. Emma, however, surprisingly declares no blocks and takes 6 damage from it before Josh passes. Sadly, Emma doesn't draw a cat during her upkeep, and she's 0 for 3 on Herald's Horn triggers. But considering her opponent's life total, I assume it's the least of her worries right now. She plays Temple Garden, untapped, taking 2 damage. Then she casts Leonin Relic Warder. It comes into play tapped, and with its ETB, she exiles Josh's Song of the Dryads enchantment. Thus the Caracal returns, boosting all of her remaining cats again. Then she casts Kadama's Reach, taking 6 damage from Ruric Thar, and nets her first basic forest into play tapped and another to her hand. Then she moves into combat and uses her Eminence ability to boost her Pridemate and attacks with it alone. Josh blocks the hit with his Extortionist, and Emma gains 10 life and another +1/+1 counter on her Pridemate before passing. For Josh's turn, he gets a Miracle Draw and taps out, including sacking his treasure token to cast Thorn Mammoth. He uses its ETB to fight Emma's Warder, killing it. This returns the Song of the Dryads into play, which Josh turns Emma's Pridemate with into a forest. Then he moves into combat and attacks Emma with Ruric Thar. Emma declares no blocks and takes 6 damage, placing her in the commander damage danger zone. Josh then passes, looking to take the comeback win next turn. During her upkeep, finally, Emma reveals a cat for her Herald's Horns trigger, which is Initiate's Companion, which goes to her hand and basically gets her a second draw. She then reveals that the second draw was her own Miracle Draw, and she taps out to cast Crater Hoof Behemoth. It comes in tapped thanks to Urabrask, but its ETB gives her creatures +5/+5 and trample this turn, as Emma has 4 cats in play plus the Behemoth. Emma then moves into combat and waves Josh with everything she can, snuffing out his last life point, and she moves on to the finals following this incredible back and forth match. This was a phenomenal match, and while yes, there were a couple of questionable plays, no one can deny that this match was action-packed. Even with his back against the wall, Josh played like a champion and made great use of Urabras the Hidden to slow down Emma long enough that he was almost able to come back and take the win. Emma, on the other hand, was a cross of nervous and relaxed at times in this game, and it almost came back to bite her in the bum. Her Ajani's Pride mate turned out to hurt Josh the most as part of her overwhelming lifelink and +1/+1 counter gain based strategy. Also, you gotta ask yourself, how many times in a game of EDH do you see a Grove of the Burn Willows accidentally powering up Ajani's Pride mate? Before we wrap things up, a quick shout out to my good friend and patron of this channel, Neo Royal, House of Pricey Cardboard. Thank you so much for introducing the opening hands and the episode this week. Please guys, go check him out. He has a great YouTube channel, so go give him a subscribe. Also follow him on Twitter if you don't mind. There'll be links to his channels in the description below. Agree with our picks? Let us know in those comments below as well. Also, if you enjoy our content, consider becoming a patron. It'll give you access to such things as future entries into prize tournaments, bonus entries into giveaways, not to mention your nickname in the credits as part of our EDHCC club that helps make this channel and all of its episodes possible, and so much more. That's it for this week. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay warm, stay safe, and keep on card gaming. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you're a fan of EDH gameplay and you like whether it be 1v1 or multiplayer and you want to be part of the ever-growing Command Your Challenge family, just make sure you smash the subscribe button and notification bell down below. We do weekly videos. Don't forget as well to like, comment, share our videos, but most importantly, enjoy them. On behalf of all of our members here, I'm your host, BT. Feel free to check out all of the videos in the channel, join our game, it's now your turn. Cheers!